Well, it's winter, it's snowing and it's cold, and I'm standing right now next to a lake looking for a water sample. Not so easy because everything's frozen, but maybe I'm lucky and maybe I'm able to take something home so that I can put it under the microscope.
Well, of course, I wanted to do a little bit of ice skating first, because who knows when the lake's going to be frozen the next time again. Well, of course, hello and welcome, Microbehunter here, and in this video I want to talk about two things. Yes, I do want to isolate some microbes from this lake right in the middle of winter time, and I also would like to talk about the importance of temperature generally for microbial life. I'll do that later in the video. And here you can see me collecting some of these water samples. Yeah, it was not so easy to find a place where I could remove the ice, and I can recommend that if you collect water samples, don't just collect water samples, don't just collect water, that is, but also take along some solid material. Like, for example, I am taking along some decomposing leaves. They have been in the lake ever since last fall, and those leaves of course serve both as food for microorganisms but also as a surface to attach to, because many microbes, ciliates for example, what they like to do is they like to live too close to organic material, or they like to connect themselves, attach themselves to a surface. Yeah, but of course a little bit of water is also necessary. So what I've done is I've of course removed the ice a little bit, and all of the sediment from the ground. This is also a place where many microorganisms can be found. So also of course some food is there, some decomposing debris and organic matter. So this is basically back at home, again in my home lab, and then I prepared just a conventional wet mount microscope slide. I put a small drop of the water on there with a little bit of sediment, and in this case I used a pretty large cover glass, and this gave me a very thin film of water. I put it under the microscope and I was pretty disappointed. Yeah, I did see this algae over here, this filamentous algae, but otherwise there was really not a lot of microbial life present. Really, normally during summertime the water is full and there is quite a bit going on here, and there are microbes swarming around all over the place. But honestly, I really had to spend a little bit of time looking around actually to find something. Yeah, this is one of the things that I found, and I did find the occasional ciliate. So yeah, a little bit I did find, but honestly, no comparison to that what you normally would find during summertime. And all of those brown things, well, these are all decomposing decomposing organic material. I also put part of the leaf under the microscope, and even though it's decomposing, I did not see any ciliates grow on the leaf either. So yeah, not a very good sample, I have to admit. So what I did is I went back to the lake a few days later, and I looked for a different place, hoping maybe to find a little bit more. Yeah, there were birds there. This was part of the lake that was not frozen yet, so I kind of hoped to find a little bit more here. And of course I had to not scare the birds too much, but essentially this looked pretty promising, because the birds, they also produce waste. You know, I thought maybe this could act like a fertilizer for microorganisms. Felt a little bit uneasy about all of the bird droppings there. Yeah, it's a hygienic issue. I am aware of that. So I moved a little bit away from the birds to a corner where there were not so many of them, and this is then also where I tried to collect some water sample. So yeah, there were some feathers also there, of course decomposing leaves, and it looked a little bit greenish too. Yeah, so maybe a few algae as well. The water itself looked very clear, but most of the things were again on the ground. So what you have to do is you have to agitate the water again a little bit to collect again a small amount of the sediment that has deposited on the ground. And general rule is, if you're able to see something with your unaided eye, like for example debris and sediment, then this is actually also a good source for microorganisms to find, because actually most of them cannot be found in the water. Yeah, I did find this one diatom there. I was already happy. I also found, surprise, a dividing ciliate here, but otherwise not so much more. Again, rather disappointing. A little bit more than maybe in the previous sample. Yeah, I did find this little critter here as well, but ultimately still a far cry to that what you normally would expect. basically, does this mean it's not worth looking for microorganisms in wintertime? No, definitely not, because I simply let my water samples stand for a couple of days at room temperature, and then everything looked much different. 3 or 4 days were enough, and then essentially it started to explode with life. And this actually shows that temperature is indeed extremely important. Why is that? Well, you have to understand that life depends on chemical reactions. And many chemical reactions or most of them, are catalyzed by enzymes. Enzymes are proteins that can be found in all living things. And what they do is they speed up chemical reactions, and they even make chemical reactions possible. So if the temperature, however, is too hot, then what's going to happen is that those enzymes start to denature and they break. So heat is not really good. That's the reason why heat kills living things, because the enzymes they denature. By the way, this is a heliozoan. Yeah, it looks like a sun. It's a sun animalcule. Yeah, back to the temperature again. And if the temperature is too low, then life is also not possible, because at low temperatures, chemical reactions generally occur much slower. So what you need is you need this optimum balance between the temperature should not be too high, it should not be too low. During winter time, when the temperature is low, then this also means that the microorganisms cannot reproduce as quickly as during summertime, because their metabolism generally is slower. A second factor why I think during wintertime microorganisms are not as abundant is because there is actually less sunlight. Less sunlight means less photosynthesis, and this also means that there are less algae growing in the lake, and therefore there is less biomass being produced, which can also serve as a food source. So here you see there's quite a bit of life going on right now, and as a matter of fact, I've also seen that many microorganisms that I did not see before, like for example Vorticella, which I'm going to show you. Yeah, here for example, that's a Vorticella. I did not see before at all, and all of a sudden they are there. So this actually means they must have been present all the time, but now they have found ideal conditions to reproduce, because of course you cannot have life forming out of non-living material. Here this Vorticella must have been assigned that there must have been some states, some cellular states that allowed them actually also to survive the cold temperature. And some microorganisms actually also form cysts that are able to withstand both cold and hot temperature much better. Yeah, but back to the temperature. That's the reason why it's so difficult to find other planets that would be able to support life, because if it's too hot, it's not possible, because enzymes denature and the molecules are not stable enough. If it's too cold, then the chemical reactions are too slow, and life is also not possible. This is, by the way, one of the reasons why we have a refrigerator, because the food that we put into the refrigerator is cooled down, and this means that microorganisms that are on the food do not have the ideal conditions to reproduce, and the food can be stored much longer this way. As a matter of fact, there are also, I was kind of worried about breaking into the lake a little bit when I was doing my ice skating, but it has happened already before that those people that broke into cold water, even though they did not get enough oxygen, they could survive for much longer time, because the cold temperature has also slowed down their metabolism of the people, and this allowed them to survive even under the ice much longer. Still a thought that I really did not want to think about while I was skating over the lake, but I can assure you that it was safe, at least at the place where I was ice skating before. Well, I think for today this is again enough. I wish you all the best. Of course, thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for supporting this channel. I would like to, of course, also invite you to subscribe to this channel. This also is an important way of supporting it. Last but not least, I do have a newsletter right now that I would like to send out about once a month, and I would like to also invite you to subscribe to this newsletter. This newsletter will keep you updated of all of the videos that I'm publishing on this channel, and also on the sister channel, because I do have a second channel as well, where I talk more about microscopes. And yes, I think enough for today. Happy microbe hunting as always. See you around next time. Bye bye.